Hey hunters, I'm currently rank 1 global in Moco, and one of the main reasons for that is actually the dojos, which you unlock with level 30, because they're going to give you a ton of experience points. So I will just share with you how you can beat all of them on the normal difficulty level really easily. And I know that my rings or my loadout in general might be over level compared to yours. So this means if we're going for like any loadout which is concentrating on the weapon, I will use like pet rings, which means we're not going to use any rings whatsoever. I will still show you though what rings you should bring. But let's start things off with the first one, and that is the double dragon. For this one, we're going for the weapon, the gloves. Those electro fists are dealing a lot of damage to 2 targets, and that's perfect for this. As well, on top of that, we're going for a sustain and as well for more damage in our gadgets. Then in the passives, we're having 2 things set. The vampire tooth and as well the damage for a weapon is pretty much set. The third one, you can kind of like switch in between whatever you pretty much need. More damage, you can go for a little bit more healing. There's a lot of options, and I think you should go with the one which you have on the highest level. But in general, all of those should work. The important one is the vampire teeth, and as well the one which is empowering your weapon a bit further. For this one, we're going to use the lightning in the box though, and as well a lot of damage orientated rings for your loadout. As I said, I will show you everything you should bring, but let's now switch for me to the pet rings. So I pretty much use no rings whatsoever, just to make sure that there is no difference between your attacks and my attacks when it comes down to the power overall. What you're doing pretty much is you're running into them using the spray early on because you need the distance to them. You always try to go with a max distance, and with the slowdown, this is the perfect thing to have to make sure that the dragons are always staying behind. The next thing is then obviously the attack speed, which makes sure that you're getting your own stun out way faster, and you have as well some hit point recovery. On top of that, now you have the multi-zapper, which means you can stun even longer, and those 2 dragons are not getting any close whatsoever. And you're doing that pretty much for the entire duration. One of the most crucial things though to learn if you're struggling maybe is to use the dash correctly. You might have seen if a dragon is going into the attack animation, if you dash right before that or like a tiny bit before that, you're actually dodging the attack even though the dragon is doing the full attack animation. This is going to be an important thing over the entire video, and this is something you should always like put maybe time into if you want to learn that, because it can be really helpful, especially for boss fights where you're fighting one single really strong enemy. For this one, it is literally just running in a circle non-stop and making sure that they cannot get close. This is as well the loadout which I use to get in the end my speed run, because it is just so crazy good. You have the damage output, you have the safety, perfect combination, the pepper spray, make sure that nothing's getting close. And with that, you're already done. Yep, this is really easy. Next one. For this one, we're going with crowd control. One of my favorites because this is using the CPU bomb. Yep, that's right. A lot of people are saying, it's not the great of the weapon, but trust me, this thing is insane. Again, vitamin shots, I think it's just one of the best gadgets because it combines offense and defense really nicely. And then let's use some more splash damage, because this is what the weapon is all about, and those gadgets are going to support that perfectly. And for the rings, let's go with even more damage. That's pretty much what we do. But again, to make sure that you are having the same level as what I have, I will just remove my rings with selecting pet power rings. For this one though, you're dashing right in the beginning into the middle of everything. Use the ice globe, use the spray, and then use the second dash to get out of this tricky situation. And at this point, it's the exact same thing as what we just had. Run in circles, non-stop attack, and whenever you have those spells out of cooldown, you just use them. The pepper spray in combination with the ice globe makes sure that they can never reach you. You have enough damage as well to make sure that you can take them all out. And then in the end, this is where the magic happens, because you have the explode passive, which means whenever something is dying, it's dealing damage to the person or to the monster next to it, which is having a crazy effect in the end. Wait for that. For now, as I just said, we'll just keep walking backwards. As soon as they're getting close, we're just dashing, otherwise non-stop attacking. The explosion in general gives you as well some CC, which means that will never get close to you. You have the spells, you have the dash, you have the weapon itself to make sure that they will never catch you. And one important thing though is that this is the most exciting part. That's right, the end, where everything is like popping and like just getting destroyed because like the monster next to it is destroyed. So the next one, this is just the perfect thing It is just so satisfying. And with this, without any rings whatsoever, you can really easily beat this level as well. It should be no problem for you, and it should be not really relevant when it comes down to the level overall. Next one, and this is going to be Helping Hands. This one is actually super easy. And the weapon might surprise you because we're going in with the medicine ball. That's right, we're relying on the NPCs in this level to deal most of the damage. So what we're going with is pretty much mostly healing, with some supportive damage equipment, like for example the gadget with the lightnings and so on. But I think for now, again, let's just switch to the pet rings to make sure that I'm not using any rings whatsoever. Dash into the juggler right away. Yep, dash right in. And now the key thing is here, stay as close, stay as close as possible to the juggler. If you're a little bit further away, the NPCs will get targeted. And if they go down, you're missing the damage. This is why this entire bit is only structured around healing yourself and everything around you. If you might go down, just go a little bit further behind, and the juggler will always switch target. Otherwise, if you're full life or really overall healthy, you always want to stay as close to the juggler as possible. Then in the later stages, if you're getting to the lower parts of the hit points, he's going to start to teleport. But it should not really matter because you can tell already, everything is alive anyways, right? With the medicine ball, with the healing and everything, you're always keeping your overall entire army of monsters alive. And that makes it super simple. Obviously, this is just to unlock this level and not to like speedrun it or anything like that. But getting this already unlocked is giving you 20,000 EXP and 10,000 on top, which is just like 30,000 experience points, which is just boosting you so much. So if you have then better upgraded loadouts in the end, I will show you as well what you can then use later and what I use to actually get it below 1 minute. But for that, obviously, then you need way higher leveled loadout. But this one so far, as I said, in the later stages, it's going to teleport a bit the juggler. You can just follow and just keep healing your army, pretty much. This is the one which I would recommend otherwise. Yes, I know it might sound really weird, but you're literally just going with the bow and then some hit point recovery as well. It might sound weird, it might sound strange, but that is literally what will work for you to take this out in a really quick time. The important thing though is this needs you to, I don't know, like, you really need to make sure that you have it on a high level. We won't watch this as this is mostly how you unlock those different levels, but I still wanted to show you the loadout. As well, if you're wondering, by the way, I did this in the afternoon in my stream, so you can watch it there as well if you are interested in that. We're already in the next level, by the way, the next loadout already, which is going to be with the baseball. That's right. I like this quite a bit, but it's a really strategic weapon because you really need to get the spacing right. On this one, what you're trying to do is run into the monsters and then use the pepper spray again and as well the boombox to push everything behind. But be careful. Those knights are dealing an insane amount of damage. You need to have the perfect spacing where you're hitting the knights and pushing them back, but they are not really touching you. This is not easy, but trust me, you will get it over the time. You're doing one group at a time, and with this, you should then slowly approach every single troop, and it's always the same. The pepper spray to make sure that everything is slowed down, just lead them in front of those two spirits Vita, which then can deal so much damage, and that's really how the entire level works. You have a lot of things which obviously can keep you alive, like the vamp teeth or your vitamins, but you have as well a lot of things which are slowing down the other monsters, which makes sure that then the damage, which is not coming from you mostly, is then coming from the spirits, and they can easily clear out all of them. You just need to stall long enough, and that is the entire job of you in this level. Then, next one, again, the last group has everything else. Just don't get greedy. Sometimes when I was at this stage, I was like, oh yeah, that's an easy thing. Now let's just full attack. You're getting one shot if you're staying in the place really quickly. I take you to that. Those knights are dealing so much damage, so if you underestimate them only for a couple of seconds, it's going to be done. But this is one of the hardest levels for sure if you cannot get the spacing right, so you should learn it for sure. Next one is going to be the target priority. This in the beginning is one of the hardest level when you have no clue what to bring. But this one, this loadout was recommended to me by Janos, who is in my opinion one of the best, most genius players I've seen so far in this game. His loadouts and his approaches to different levels is just insane. So full shout out goes to him for the entire loadout and the entire concept. Because this level is really not easy, but if you're following a couple of really crucial steps, it will be super easy, trust me. Again, for this one, we are not going to bring any offensive rings. So you can literally do that without bringing any rings whatsoever. This is how easy the approach is. For this one, we're just going in with the Frost early on, because take a look at this. If you don't do that and the bar from the blower is filling up, the entire army is going to run over to you and you're going to lose. So this bar is the crucial thing. So Frost, as I said, and then as soon as the bar is getting close to full, then you're going to pop the boombox, because this is going to interrupt the bar, and this is what you're looking for. At this point, you're just spinning, keep healing yourself, and that's pretty much it. As I showed you in the loadout, if you want to go more aggressive, you can bring the vitamin shots again instead of this type of healing, but that's the more like speed run. As well, you can replace the ice globe with the sticker, but again, that's them for speed running, and it makes it a bit harder. The next thing here is you're always waiting for the cooldown of the ice globe. This is not for a speed run. You want to make sure that the ice globe is taking that out. The next thing is, you might be worried now. You're having a total of 2 minutes, but we are already kind of like behind at this stage, because you need like 25 seconds for each corner. Otherwise, it's pretty much GG, right? Not really. Like, you have all the time it needs. Obviously, you should be through this way quicker, because you will bring rings, not like me, who's like bringing pet rings, which is literally doing nothing. But even if you bring no rings and you're like really under leveled, don't worry. You can just take down those blowers and then get close to the spitters. Because take a look at this. At this point, the spitter cannot hit you anymore. It always has a certain range which it needs to have to travel the projectile. And this means you just need to get close. Even though we're running now low on time and we should already approach the last group, we don't have to stress at this point, because the last spitter will be super easy to approach. So for this right now, again, just as every approach with the ice globe, then the boombox, healing yourself if needed, and by now it's already like 10 seconds left. Like, there's not much time left, because we're obviously missing damage, because I'm not using the correct rings in this one to really show you how easy this is. But again, now the overtime is ticking in. But take a look at this. You don't care. Like, this thing is empowered, but it does nothing because it's always shooting over you. So this is why it's such a nice approach, and should always give you a nice unlock, pretty much. 1 versus 1. This one is really tricky, and you need raw power. And this is the loadout you're looking for. The bow with, again, the combination of the sticker, which I unfortunately have still on 28, otherwise I would be probably way further, but hey, I'm quite unlucky on that. But otherwise, this is the loadout you're going for. As well, healing, which is then keeping you alive, because this is a 1 versus 1, you versus Berserker. And this is really not easy, but I will show you, okay? So what you're doing here is pretty much you're dashing in and trying to circle the Berserker. It's really important that you're circling, because with this X, otherwise, if you're just keeping your space, you're always going to get hit. So you need to circle around him. And then pretty much whenever it's off cooldown, you're just dashing towards him and getting your spells up. The second attack which he does is like this cone of where he's punching in the air and dealing a lot of damage. This is why you need the spacing. The third attack then is going to be this tornado spin, which is pretty much you're running into him and then dash through him. And when he's not enraged, which will be another topic then later on, when he's dropping lower in hit points, you can just dash through him and attack pretty much right away again, because you're going to heal up again just based on how the overall loadout works. But when the overall attack, like when the overall hit points are dropping low, he's going to get enraged. This means he's spinning more, he's dealing more damage, being more annoying, everything. For this one, again, it's really important that you can dodge the auto attacks with your dash. Otherwise, it's really important. You want to like run towards him if he starts spinning, dash through him, and then keep walking. Don't attack when he's enraged. Otherwise, that's how you do it. Just walk. Then when his spin is over, you can again trigger the attack speed and everything. And that's it. Yep, can be easy. But for this one, you need the power. You need the raw power. And this is why I brought all of the original rings as well. Otherwise, I hope that this video was helpful for you to collect all of those different dojo levels in this advanced training track. And let me know if there was anything where you struggled with, or if the overall instructions were super easy. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching the video. If you're looking forward for Moco content, which is like based on guides and overall educational content. Make sure that you're following this channel because I will upload quite some videos to this game because I love it. It won't be daily content. It will be more like, okay, I have a video idea here. There's a really popular questions there, so we'll cover it in a video. More like this type. My daily content will be still on my German and English Clash of Clans channel. But otherwise, thank you so much for watching. Make sure that you're following the channel, and I will see you with the next Moco video. Until then, see ya and bye bye.